Yeah.
prove them wrong and show how much you know what your value is. And once they see it, they won't see that copper anymore. They'll see that diamond.
This is the Chicana in the City series, and we're all about reshaping our narratives and knowing our self-worth, not just as individuals, but as a community and cultura. So I connected with El Santo del Valle, a Chicano rapper who's representing and empowering our comunidad through the power of music and words. What inspired you, and also who has inspired like your journey in music?
So I grew up going to Mexican parties with my parents all the time. So cumbia, norteñas, all that, it's always rhythmic. It's tap, 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 tap. It like makes you want to dance side to side. So I always had that like melodic thing in the back. What got me into what I'm doing right now, I say Tupac. With the vocals, with the message, with the strength behind his like energy, everything's unmatched.
Especially in Chicano culture and Mexican American, or being part of like the cultura. Especially, how did your family take that you're gonna be an artist? Because I'm so
God.
curious about that.
The first couple years, they were like, ponte las pilas, estás viviendo tu propio mundo, ponte las pilas, blah, blah, blah. Because I wasn't paying attention to that. And you know what? I'm glad I didn't, because this is where I am now.
How long have you been in the game, and what are we expecting this summer from you? All right, you can do it. Yeah. Go action.
Action. Let's go. Let's get it started.
So I'm here with Santo del Valle.
Hello.
We're out here at the studio for working on your album.
Yes, we are. We're working on an album, Corpus Christi.
Yes.
That's what it's called. So young. Produced it. Is engineering it. He's running the boards. And I'm taking care of like the futures. I'm taking care of like my verses. It's sick. It's a sick collab. Today's Sunday. Yesterday, well, today, whenever you guys watch it, I'm letting you know today in my time right now is Sunday. But yesterday was Saturday, so it was a 2-day session. It was packed. It's crazy. We got people around chilling, the snacks. You know I'm being a good little host, right?
He's taking care of us. He's taking care of us.
So there's no slavery punishment things going on here. We're good, all right? We're all vibing out here.
How long have you been doing music for?
I've been doing music, funny enough, March 2017 when I started, like taking it on full time. So I dropped out of high school, senior year, and now it's March 2024. 7 years in the making.
Who's been like some of your biggest influences when it came to music? Because dropping out of high school and pursuing music is a big step. It's a bold step. What inspired you, and also who has inspired like your journey in music?
So I grew up going to Mexican parties with my parents all the time. So cumbia, norteñas, all that, it's always rhythmic. It's tap, 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 tap. It like makes you want to dance side to side. So I always had that like melodic thing in the back. But I've always had like pots and pans when I was like 2 years old, getting there, making that drum rhythm. So it was always drums that was in my life. And then I knew I couldn't play an instrument. It was too hard for me, but I've always wanted to do something in music. And it wasn't until I was 11 where I kind of wanted to sing, but my voice just wasn't there, sadly. But I picked up another thing, rap, because I'm still able to use my voice to the fullest. And I sound like my kind, and I'm brown skin, I'm proud. Mexican flag right there for you guys to see. And so I just want to represent what I'm doing, and that's representing for the culture. So what got me into what I'm doing right now, I say Tupac. With the vocals, with the message, with the strength behind his like energy, everything's unmatched. But I heard how he's delivering his thing, like how life is as a African American in the '90s was. I'm doing how Chicano is now, modern day twist. And obviously Kanye West for me, like, but the production style, how things are, like the beat, everything, like the futures and all that. It's not just hip hop. It's not just a beat that plays and I rap on it. Like I want a full production in there. So that's what inspired me, and I'd say those two, and Santana as well. Guitar, the guitar and the ritmo, beautiful. So fuse that together, you get El Santo del Valle.
I love that, and all of them have been inspirational to me in my artistry. So
you understand.
We connect on that.
So that's why if you ever listen to my music on Spotify, which you can check it out, Santo Del Valle, Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, Amazon, everything. You hear it. You hear all of that.
I love that. And one of the things, especially in Chicano culture and Mexican American, or being a part of like the cultura, we didn't we like, especially, how did your family take that you're going to be an artist? Because I'm
Oh my
so
gosh.
curious about that, because it took
Oh,
a while for my family to be like, oh, you're a writer.
don't get me started on
Please
that.
tell me on that, because a lot of artists, I know there's a lot of Latinos, a lot of Chicanos, a lot of young folks out here that aspire to have stopped themselves because their family rejects it. Like, tell me how you have you had those obstacles in your journey?
Well, the first year they thought it was a hobby because I was 17, so I was 18 actually. They were like, okay, cool, something for him to do, but be working. And so I did that. I worked construction with my dad, and then all my free times in the night, I would go to my homie studio. Shout out Jose the Panda. I would go to his studio in his crib and just record music in the night. But then they saw that I kept going at it 19, 29, 19, 20, 21, and then the first couple years they were like, ponte las pilas, estás viviendo tu propio mundo, ponte las pilas, blah blah blah. Because I wasn't paying attention to that, and you know what? I'm glad I didn't, because this is where I am now. I character development, the real thing. It's a real thing, and it wasn't until I say 2 years ago when they realized the potential I'm able to give. Because 2 years ago, I performed in Mexico, in my home pueblo. And ever since that, it's always like, ¿cuándo vas a agarrar tu record deal? O vas a ir al estudio, a ver, te doy $40 para comprar lonche. They support me so much now. And it literally went from like, put your mind in the real world. You're just going through a phase. You're gonna be out of it. Work, monte las pilas, like put on. It's just what that is.
Typical, like,
Yeah, they,
Latino,
they thought I was going
Chicano, yeah.
crazy, but it's
Hmm.
just no. Like I was getting into the magic of the music and everything. And even my grandpa saw it, because he's right now I have the studio in my house in my dad's room, but my grandpa is staying over at the moment, and he was like, "I saw the equipment there. I want to use it. I want to make some music, but it's just for fun."
Yeah.
But everyone in my family knows me as the artist who I am today, so
So it takes consistency and going at it,
it
and
kept proving them wrong.
yeah,
That's what it is.
yeah.
Prove them wrong and show how much you know what your value is. And once they see it, they won't see that copper anymore. They'll see that diamond more than gold. You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like all of us can relate to that. Consistency, staying on it, know your worth, which is important.
Exactly.
And what thing I love about your music, I mean, is that is a lot of Spanglish. Tú hablas español, inglés, like
Yeah,
you throw it
yeah.
in, you mix it in, you mix the cumbia with the rap, with the rock. Like, I
Exactly.
love all of that fusion. When you what is the difference right now, like, from when you see other artists, and like, what is the value of being like a Mexican American, Chicano, speaking
Oh,
Spanglish? What is
mhm.
your that value for you, and why is it important to put that on there?
That value is culture, because the kids nowadays, and even my age and younger, I'm pretty sure it happens every generation. But what happens? They follow. You need to get the brands. You got to get Nike. You got to get Adidas. You got to wear Ray Bans. You got to get the big Teslas right now. You got to get everything modern stuff right now. You got to get that. And since you're chasing such artificial stuff, you're losing the value of who you truly are. So it's like, imagine I'm dressing in Gucci and Versace and all that stuff, and I'm not rapping in Spanglish. I'm just like, oh, I do English, because that's what it is. It's just I can't lose myself to materialism. I can't let that. Your soul is too strong to have this. What I'm wearing right now, I'm eventually not gonna wear in a year or two. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep evolving as a human being, but it's culture. It's the weight that your ancestry. My, I got green eyes, so that means my grandpa, like relatives. Like if you look at his ancestry, because he's white and he's my age and he got colored eyes, he definitely came from Europe or Spain or whatever is that. And my grandma, she's short. She looks like a little India. So it's
You got
like
a mixture of the colonization. You're like
exactly
the whole
the family
colonized,
tree,
and then
everything in the back.
yes,
I'm the product of what happened 500 years ago of the Spanish
100%.
invasion,
Yeah.
and being firstborn here, means a lot. So I got to make sure people don't get lost along the way of finding them true self, because it's always going to go back to that. That is who you are. Embrace the culture and really appreciate everything. But if I can add, I grew up here in the United States. So I'm too norte to be over there,
Yeah.
but I'm Mexican here compared to other people. So the culture that we both like, that we created, everyone, the first, born American, with Chicanos.
Yeah.
And so we have our own culture, which is cool because we're still repping that, but we live in the United States. And what do we like? We like tattoos. We
Yeah.
like, like muriel. We like lowriders. We love carne asada, dude.
Yeah, and the rap and everything. So you're intertwining the cultura de aquí that you picked up
Yeah.
in the inner cities. We were infused by a lot of other culturas. From like African American to like Philippine, like all of this. We
Yep.
have the mixture of all of that. Plus, we have our cultura from our parents. So I love that you intertwine that, and that is Chicano culture. Like we created our own culture. It's subculture, right?
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
and even when Chicano culture, there's different subcultures. There's
Yep.
the cholos, there's the tejanas, there's the rocker, all of that.
Yep.
So I love that your music intertwines all of those cultures, like the subcultures of Chicano
Thank
as
you.
well.
Thank you. Thank you. I really
So,
appreciate that.
and to wrap this up, I really, we're working on your album, the second
So,
album. Or is that wait, is it second album? What's your album? What are we? What,
Ooh,
number one?
this is second album, but it's
Okay.
like I said, it's collab with So Young, so check that out.
Yes. How different is this from your first album?
Oh,
And I know that you're collabing with Sol, who's an amazing master, like beat master,
yeah,
producer, engineer.
got some like that rock element into it, which
Yes.
is amazing.
What was your vision for this second album?
This album was definitely like my vocals, my style, and my how I hear the features on a soul beat, like his energy matching with my energy, fusing it together and creating a product. And one thing I told myself is, how can I make a soul beat Chicano? Like how can I turn like a alternative, like rock, hip hop mix fusion, and turn a sound to a Chicano sound
Yeah.
here. Instead of like, I love to sample. I love to sample old like Mexican music and make it hip hop, but this is like original stuff. So how can I make that my voice? And my voice makes the Chicano, the futures I have. Chicana Nuts on the album too. So you're gonna hear
No, and I love that you've been collaborating with so many different artists on this
Yes.
album. How important is it for you to have these collaborations? I mean, you have
Oh.
Soul, you have like
Yep.
different singers on it, you have me, but like you were very intentional with everybody you
Yeah,
brought in.
exactly. It's because I can't sing, I can't do that. But not only that, I want each distinctive vocals from my culture, and not only my culture, just Latinos in general, to be in a sound, in a mic. Because let's face it, there's some people that don't like the corridos, like vocals, because it sounds nasty or like gritty. But I love how my people voices sound like. I work in construction since I was 5, so many voices I went through. But at the end of the day, when you hear it, you feel like it's home. It's your culture. You love that voice. It could be like Chalino Sanchez's voice. It wasn't
love that.
pretty,
Yeah.
but it's just the way it is. It's that soul, like Mexican culture, dude, and I love it. I love my people's voices, so I needed every one of you guys to do it. I know you're great with the poetry, so I'm like, her like doing that poetry stuff, like the way she talks, like her deliverance. I need that in parts on the album. The way the homie Luna sang, like I know he has that strength when it comes to the singing. Like you heard it right now.
Yeah.
I needed to have him on the album for the way he did that for the exit. Lita, Carla, she's gonna sing right now on a track called Hey Now. It's probably gonna be out right now, maybe not, but the album's coming out June 21st. I just want to put that out.
Yes, that's what
June 21st, my birthday, my 25th birthday. So it's gonna be crazy. And yeah, Molina's on it too for the Bastardize track. Who else? I don't even know at this point.
Yeah, it's a
But
vision right now, and it's you're creating. So
yeah,
can't wait for it to come out.
appreciate you.
I love. Thank you for including me in this.
Of course,
In this
thank you for
project,
coming.
for adding poetry in it, for telling me all the time poetry and rap are the same. So I think it's important for people to understand that you're a lyricist and you're a poet yourself as well.
It's still the same art,
Yeah.
It's still voice. So I'm like, how can let me use her voice to empower the song even more, instead of like just rapping. Let it be spoken.
Yes, that's poetry alone.
Yeah, yeah.
One last question, just because we have young audiences, we have audiences that are even older, that like dream of being, maybe singing, maybe rapping, maybe being like in the studio form. What's your advice, even if it's not musicians, just artists in general, for these, first gen Chicanos, Latinos,
Yeah.
who are like dreaming and manifesting and maybe are a little scared to jump into take a leap of faith and being like, what, this is my art, this is what I want. What's your advice for that?
My advice is do it, because you don't know what butterfly effect you could create. It could start up by literally just picking up a paper and pen to writing, and then like just flip the pages later. You're gonna be in the studio, someone be quoting what you wrote. So just write, follow your heart. There are gonna be obstacles. It's always common with whatever you create. It's always gonna be up and down, but when you know it's adding up, enjoy it, because you're about to go down and then you're gonna go back up and you're gonna go down. But all of that happens for a reason, and it builds your character. Going back, character development is very, very important. I would not be here if I didn't let my ego take over me.
Yeah.
Because I could have been like, no, I wanna do this, and that's it. No, I had to open my mind, open my heart. Here I am today. So follow your heart, do it, so you can open up that Pandora's box and create that butterfly effect that's going to change your life. And never let obstacles stop you, because those are meant to get you stronger.
Yeah.
Those are my 3 advice I could give you guys.
Amazing. Well, thank you much, Santo del Valle, representing the 818.
Chicana Nat, putting the 818 on the map.
That's
Here
right.
we go.
All right. Well, thank you guys, and tune in for the next episode. And check him out on Spotify.
Yep.
And stay tuned for that album, June 22nd, right?
June 21st.
21st.
El Santo del Valle. So let's